There are new reports that a federal grand jury may soon hear from Sean Diddy Combs' accusers. Back in March, Homeland Security officials searched the rap mogul's homes in Miami Beach and Los Angeles. CNN and the Los Angeles Times say that federal investigators are now preparing to bring women who are suing Combs for alleged sexual assault in front of a grand jury here in New York. So our national correspondent, Jericka Duncan, is here to talk a little bit more about this. It's getting hot.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Another layer to this story, Anne-Marie. A federal investigation into Combs has been ongoing, but he has not been charged with a crime. Since November, 7 people have filed civil lawsuits alleging that Combs sexually assaulted them. Well, now their potential testimony could help the government bring a criminal case.
As Sean Diddy Combs faces a wave of sexual assault allegations, CNN and the LA Times report that federal investigators are preparing to bring the embattled hip-hop mogul's accusers before a grand jury as part of an inquiry over possible sex trafficking, which could signal the potential for criminal charges. It comes 2 months after federal agents raided houses in Miami and Los Angeles belonging to Combs in connection with the ongoing investigation. At the time, an attorney for Combs said he was innocent and called the raids a witch hunt. Combs has been named in 8 civil suits since November, with 7 people accusing him of sexual assault, including his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, who settled her case with Combs 1 day after it was filed. In a December social media post, Combs said in part, "I did not do any of the awful things being alleged." But earlier this month, after CNN obtained graphic footage that shows Combs punching and kicking Ventura in 2016, he released an apology.
I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
What we saw in that video totally eviscerated his credibility.
Judy Saunders is an attorney who specializes in sex abuse and human trafficking cases. She said Combs' accusers likely have information that prosecutors will use to paint a bigger picture of his alleged behavior.
These individual cases, they may help explain how it was that he was able to allegedly operate a wider network that included sexual crimes.
CBS News asked the U.S. Attorney's Office here in Manhattan about the existence of a grand jury tied to the federal investigation into Combs and the potential for his accusers to testify. A spokesperson declined to comment. We also reached out to the DOJ and Department of Homeland Security as well, but did not hear back. And we reached out to reps for Combs. They did not immediately respond. In situations like this, obviously, we expect to hear more and know more specifically when the federal investigators are ready to put forward that information, be it a press release or some type of announcement.
But what does it mean, I guess, that the feds are putting together a grand jury? I mean, that means that they are investigating this. So what kind of information might they be looking for, Jericka?
So the attorney that you heard from, Judy Saunders, in there talked about corroborating evidence. Of course, you got testimony from people who've said, these things happened to me back then, and here's, the timeline. But they need evidence, similar to the Trump case. Everyone's talking about Michael Cohen, but they need the evidence to corroborate what is going on or what is alleged to have happened. So the same thing holds true here. But what we've seen in some of these lawsuits are pictures, timestamps. In the last, most recent one, someone showed an invitation that Diddy gave to his first son's, I think it was his birthday, actually. And also Kim Porter, his longtime partner who he has 3 children with, who passed away. She was also implicated in that lawsuit. So there's so much that we have to wait and see what the legal side of this will use to potentially prosecute P. Diddy.
Jericka, thank you very much.
Thank you.